this stuff, I'm getting to be kind of knowledgeable. So just hit me up. Sorry for
What's the password?
Sorry for all the delay. 105480. Here we are.
Can you remove
We're
that
live
other person
now.
as the panelist before I start channeling? Because I think that's going to affect you.
Yeah, I can. But they're
Okay.
not which person? Oh, because Brendan?
Yeah.
No, I don't think it's going to affect it because I've got the
Oh.
person muted and there's no camera. So
All right.
here, hide
So-
non-video participants. There we go.
Yeah. Thank you.
And I can hide myself too. Okay. So I will stop my video, and here we go. I'm going to start this recording. Oh, we started. Okay.
Started recording.
So this is,
Okay.
I'd like to introduce, you probably already know Dante, and we've been talking and blabbing and figuring everything out. So thank you for coming. And without further ado, we've got Shante Singh bringing us the Pleiadian Council to help answer our questions during this intense passage on planet Earth. So here we are. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming, and thank you, Dante. Looking forward to this time together.
Yeah, thank you all for tuning in and bearing with us. And without saying much more, I'm just going to turn it over and let the Pleiadian Council come through, and hopefully some new clarity can be birthed today in this powerful time of full moon with our planet going through this giant shift. So, muchas gracias, and see you later. Hello, and we say a good day to each and every one of you this moment of your time. On behalf of the Pleiadian Council, we share our great thanks, and of course the thanks on behalf as well of the entire Galactic Alliance. And in gratitude, we say it is a wondrous opportunity every time you allow for these connections to emerge between our world and yours. And it is an experience that helps us all to expand, connect deeper. And we are with you now on Earth in this time in which many things are being changed, being rearranged, and many people are being challenged. And we see you here today as those who are ready and willing to be anchors for the light in this time, to be an anchor, to be a root, to be a ground. These are all helpful metaphors that can help you to truly understand what you are here to do. As so many of the old systems that have been put in place are now going to get sort of clogged. There will be many who do not have the stability to stay centered during these times of change as the old falls away. And there are many others who may be seeking to understand what is really occurring behind the scenes. And in truth, this information is being revealed to you in many ways, though it is coming to you distorted. You are not getting the full picture from any angle. So you can consider that even understanding what is occurring out there now is not going to serve you in the biggest way at this moment. What is going to help you most now is finding the truest connection within yourself to your source, is finding the ways you can expand that connection through reaching others and through taking good care of your body, taking good care of your emotional body, allowing yourself to gravitate towards those activities, experiences, ideas that allow you to rest in calmness. In a large way, what you are really doing is waiting out the storm. And many are instead reacting to what they are seeing out there. If you allow yourself to come inside and, in a way, much like you wait out the storm, enjoy the thunder and the lightning, feel the charges of electric energy it brings, feel how that can catalyze a deeper awakening, a deeper connection within you. For this is a time that beyond all of this shattering, there is an emergence of great light. There is an emergence of a clear siblinghood, you could say, between all people on your planet, that you are all seeing each other as family. And many of the old hang-ups and the differences that you used to focus on in a way that would separate you from others are falling away, as you must now come to see what is really the greatest good of all. And of course, in these times to come, you may see those forces of darkness attempt to take more control. And this is as well occurring at this time. But you can rest assured that while there are many forces of darkness, there is one light. And when people connect themselves to that force of love and light that is source, all of those differences, all of those ego-based motives fall away. And people remember the unity of all. Those forces that work in the darkness are even working against each other. And what many people don't really get is that those different forces are very separated from each other. And as you know, strength comes in numbers. So the activities all of you are doing to meditate together, to share your personal light together, to tap into your own creative power together, to take care of yourselves together, ripples out and unifies. And these many different forces of darkness will continue to get weaker and weaker as the people get stronger and stronger. You do not need to figure out all that is happening. You simply need to think for yourselves, take care of yourselves and each other, and trust that while there is immense transformation, there is a greater unity that you are all sinking into now. And as we continue to work with you today with your questions, we can expand upon this in the ways that are exciting and interesting for you. So you may begin at any point you wish with questions, and we will do our best to answer and to reflect with you.
Yes, if you have a question, why don't you just go ahead and put your name in the chat and I will unmute you so you can talk and ask your question. Okay, let's see if anyone has any questions. One new message, okay. Okay, so Anna says, how different will the world look when this passes? Will the systems change drastically? Let's see if I can, if you want, Anna, I'm going to bring you on to, so you can be on the audio, and then you can ask it. Okay, Anna, you're unmuted, so why don't you go ahead and ask your question?
Hi, Pleiadians.
Hello.
I'm wondering, how different will the world look when all of this passes? And will our systems change drastically in places over the world or in the United States, in our powerhouses of the world?
There will be many different phases that you could say are going to occur. So you could, in a way, consider what is occurring now with the coronavirus to be a sort of test run, that the many forces around the world are coming to witness how people respond to high degrees of fear. And when people respond in this fear-based state, they become very easy to influence and give different messages. So it really depends on how individuals respond and how much they still choose to think for themselves, to see from a higher perspective. And if people do choose to do that, the changes can occur much quicker. In the times to come, there may be even more ways that your governments seek to manipulate the masses. And the change really occurs when people stop feeding energy into it, when people stop being afraid and start to question what is going on in a love-based way rather than a confused way, in a way that says, I care too much to give my power into this, to give my fear into this. Then there will be many things that shift. And what you can witness during this time as well is many collapsing economies. And when people realize that the way that they have been living is unfulfilling, and now they cannot even continue to do that, they will go through big spiritual emergences, you could say, that allow them to shift into that higher force of love. So in this process as well, further down the line, you can expect most certainly that open contact will become more common. And it is those of you who stay centered in the light now who will start to receive in your dream time and in your meditations and simply throughout your life signals from extraterrestrial beings working with you that will help you to gather many more people onto this higher frequency so that everyone can stay in contact with us. And eventually this will also result in meetings taking place where we can share at first with simple energy transmissions and sightings, new frequencies that will help you in your evolution. And eventually open contact will be something that cannot be hidden any longer. And you can anticipate this perhaps before the beginning of your 2030s or sometime within your 2030s. Again, none of this is fixed. It all depends on how much you as a collective and you as individuals follow your passion and stay in alignment. Now, another thing that you can anticipate is with the changing economic structure, eventually there will be a new system in place that gives everyone a universal income and starts to take care of the needs of everyone on your planet first. And then the commerce and trading and exchanging beyond that will still be allowed on top of that universal base income. And it will allow for people to all be supported and to continue to create new ideas, experiences, communities based upon their passion and without the pressure of needing to do it in order to survive. Eventually your world will be organized in a way where everyone is supported in following their passion. And to get to that point will take quite some time. This is a gradual shift that will take place over 20 years, though it will be a very powerful and positive one. And, well, there will be much more as well. You will start the first processes of ending all of the negative or destructive ways that you use to gain energy, taking resources from the earth, dangerous sources of power, polluting sources of power. This will shift within the next 10 to 20 years as well. So it will be a light era. It will be a time of great joy, of great connection, of great remembrance of who you are. And in order to get there, you first must go through these initial phases of destruction. Though what's helpful is to remember at the core of all of these oppressive or subversive systems in place in your world is a positive intention that is being sort of revisited. And there are parts of these systems that you can use, parts of the structures that are being recycled. So be conscious to not throw everything out. Understand that at its essence, everything is energy. And as you let old energies decompose, you gain new energies. As you bring old energies into the recycling plant, you gain new energies. And there are many inner recycling and decomposition tools that you have to change old belief systems and old power structures into something new. Is that satisfying for you? Do you have any other further ideas about what this future may look like you want some clarification on?
Yes, please. It is very helpful. And I'm also wondering about those of us who have lots of student loan debt, how that will shift with this new birth.
At a point in time, those will be forgiven. The idea of debt itself will be released and let go of.
Please mute yourself. Sorry, but mute yourself because somebody is not muted. Thank you.
So yes, after some 5 or 10 years, all of this idea of debt will be cleared on your planet as well.
That's wonderful. Thank you.
Yes, and in the meantime, do what you can to defer it. Though we can assure you, have no fear if it is not paid, for there will be new ways to experience abundance. And as long as you are in a clear, balanced state, nothing should harm you in that sense.
And to stay in a clear and abundant space, does that what does that entail for outside of our meditation and staying in that practice? Do we need to be abstaining to any specific diets or abstaining from alcohol or weed or different things? What how should we be treating our bodies to help with this ascension?
That is, in a way, up to every individual to discover. The key factor is that you live your own personal excitement. And your world has been built without understanding what the true power of personal passion is. As if everyone was allowed to explore what their truest interests were in every moment, they would become experts at providing or offering something that only they can bring. Yet instead, people have attempted to make a system that homogenizes and forces people to do things that are not truly authentic to themselves. So it is a matter of learning what brings you into a state of flow, what brings you into a state of joy, what activities, what ideas, what connections with others. And when you can get a sense of that state of exuberant, flowing passion, you will learn through experience how to continue to bring yourself back into that state. So the old way was, in a way, a mechanical idea to control yourself, to follow a formula that is very direct with specific instructions. And in a way, this idea of following your passion is also a formula, though it isn't based in some specific activities that you do. It is in tuning to your own frequency and allowing that to manifest in your life through this passion. In terms of diet, as you have asked, well, eventually all humans will be eating a vegetarian diet, and beyond that, a totally vegan diet, though it will take some years, perhaps 50 to 100 years, for everyone to follow that. And in the meantime, there is still a benefit that many can derive from eating animal products. It is simply based on their own connection to those animals that are providing the product, the meat or the cheese or milk, the eggs, whatever it is. If you know that the animals are truly living happy lives, that they are respected, that they are not over harvested in some way or stressed out, then those products can truly be enriching. Or like many connection and reverence and hunt the animals is also a way that many can derive great nutrition. Some bodies will be more inclined to make the shift to a plant-based diet quicker, and others will take longer. And in the process, it is simply being mindful. And this is another way that this idea of excitement and individual attunement expresses itself. You must all learn how to attune yourselves to your own body and notice what makes you feel good and what makes you feel fear, and all of the other masks that fear takes. When you can attune yourself to all of the ways that you either distort your and hide your fear and sink deeper into that feeling, that sensation in your body, and ask yourself, what must I be believing about myself to be true that would force me, that would allow me to feel this way? And if you reprogram those belief systems, it will be much easier to stay attuned to your own flow, understanding that, again, this process will show you again and again where there are more of those belief systems. So it is okay to follow a path that evokes some fear for you as well, and it is often good to do so when you know that it is illuminating that field of passion in your heart.
Great, thanks for those questions. Dante, I'm just experimenting because someone's still not unmuted and I'm hearing their noise. So hold on one moment, Pleiadians. I'm just gonna try some things to see if I can mute people. But it looks like we've got Philip has a question. Hi, Philip from South Africa. There is much information coming in from many different star seeds. Some seem to have vision of grandeur and think that they are magically going to spring into 5D. What would you say to them, and what should one focus on? I'm going to unmute Philip too, because it's really fun to have people talk to us. So let's find Philip. Philip, where are you? There you are. Okay, Philip, why don't you go ahead and ask your question. I've unmuted you, Philip, so you can go ahead and ask your question to Dante. Or to the Pleiadians.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
So I think one of the things that I've been watching is that there's so much different information coming in from so many different star seeds, and it's hard to discern the truth. And a lot of people have, sort of this idea that we're going to one day just wake up in 5D and the world is going to be totally different. What would you say about that? And what are the important things that one should focus on at this time?
Well, in a way, this idea is true, but it does not mean that there aren't actions to be taken. It does not mean that it is a passive shift entirely into this new earth. And really, what this 5D Earth is one timeline that you are all heading towards. Those of you on this call, for example, and many others, are in alignment with a time and space where the Earth heals. Yet it seems very cloudy on your Earth plane now because there is a splitting taking place. There are many souls that are actually headed towards a different Earth. And their frequency represents that negative Earth. So it can feel very confusing to, in a way, cohabitate the space. And as the shifts take place in bigger senses, those souls will sort of shift. They will transition in a sense, in that they will get a walk-in soul that represents the fifth dimensional timeline of Earth. And the soul that was headed towards the negative timeline of Earth will shift onto that plane. That may seem very far out. However, this is, from our perspective, what is really happening. So in the sense of the misinformation, again, we would say that there are many sources of darkness that attempt to confuse. And so they reveal parts of the truth and they put bits of lies in there. And again, as our original message was, is that figuring it out doesn't serve you in the most complete way. There are already enough people sharing these ideas, and what is really needed is more people emphasizing this discernment based on love. Now, when you hear this information, if it were true, can you still feel love within that information and love within yourself? Or when you hear this information, does it evoke a greater sense of fear? That is the big question that we want you all to be asking. Because so much of what is being shared is coming from different sources that are attempting to evoke more fear in people, again, so that they are easier to manipulate. And those of you who excel in these times will do what you can with what you have. They say in your world, if life gives you lemons, make lemonade. If life gives you a quarantine, you turn it into a personal retreat, a way to explore yourself and do the work on yourself that only you can do, and that you must be, to some extent, in solitude and disconnected from all of the noise out there in order to do. And in this sense, we say, while of course there is this great transmutation and this energy of chaos out there, this is an opportunity for all of you. This is an invitation for all of you. And it isn't as simple as simply making the shift to the fifth dimension inside and suddenly you're there. But here's this idea of shifting into the fifth dimension. It's really in shifting out of the illusion that what appears around you is all there is. The fifth dimension is this timeless connection to unconditional love. And from that initial shift, you can reattune to the sense of infinite expansion, infinite endlessness, infinite timelessness that will be sort of the baseline of your experience. And you will know it in your heart. And in that state, there will still be motivation to act in the world. And it is those actions that truly are based in true, genuine love. Another word for the fifth dimension, you could say, that will ripple out and will help solidify that 5D Earth, that ascended Earth that is already there at a blueprint level.
Thank you. You touched on a interesting point there about the different souls headed to different timelines and can be uncomfortable. I think, you know, you answered a question that I was wondering about, is that what would happen to someone that went on a different timeline? So you're saying they would get in a walk-in stall, and
Yes.
then that raises a question as to, you know, people who can't let go of
Then they
making
will
sure
die.
they will die. You know, and then this is one of the key reasons we shouldn't hold on to grudges, or we need to develop forgiveness, because
Yes.
I mean,
Though
people
accepting a
that,
walk-in soul is not that challenging.
in what
In
way?
other words, we're not saying expect 10 or 20% of your population to leave. No, but there will be an increase in the death rate during this chapter that is coming. That's all. So, yes, as you are
Okay.
saying, it is important to hold every soul, regardless of what their framework is, whether they are oriented towards love or fear. True love sees that and holds them in love regardless.
Okay.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Thank you so
Is
much,
there anything
Philip.
else you would like to share?
Let's see if we
From
have
me?
another question.
Yes.
Well, if there's no other question, I
We have
can
other
ask.
questions, Philip, but
Okay, now then move on.
you
Let other
might have
people have some
time.
time.
Okay, we might come back around if you have another one.
All right.
Okay.
Tomer has a question. I'm going to unmute you, Tomer, so you can ask your question. Hold on one moment. Let me find you. Tomer, here we are. Okay, where did he go? All right, Tomer, so I'm going to, why can't I allow you to talk? Hold on, unmute. Unmute. All right, Tomer, I'm going to go ahead and just promote you to panelist, and then you can come on, because I can't seem to unmute you right now, so hold on. You'll be rejoining us as a panelist, and we'll be able to unmute you that way. I don't see him. Tomer, are you there? I might just read your question. Oh, you don't have a microphone. Okay, he doesn't have a microphone, so I'm going to go ahead and ask Tomer's question. Hold on one moment. Can you give your perspective of the current clearings of the parasitic energy influence on the collective? Thank you, Tomer. Great question.
Yes. There are many different astral entities that seek to take energy from others, from humans, and these beings feed off of your negative emotions. They feed off of fear, of anger, sadness, depression, jealousy, greed, and lust. Now, many of these come from your own soul's parallel incarnations, and some of them come from the Earth's astral planes. Indeed, some of them are connected with these darker groups that are attempting to manipulate human consciousness at this time. So, what is important to remember is that you as individuals give these energies power when you stay at one of those lower emotional states for prolonged periods of time. And they especially receive much energy when those emotions spread from you, when you do something that brings other people into that same frequency, or say something that spreads that energy. It is like a feast for them. So you have to really learn how to pause. When you feel one of these emotions coming up, learn how to pause and breathe into your own physical and energetic bodies to get in touch with where that is sitting, and clear it by imagining light flowing into that sensation and spreading through your whole body. Imagine a channel of light that is pouring into your crown, pouring up from your root, and expanding out through your heart, that moves those lower energies and reconnects you to love. And of course, it is a process, and many of you will go through different stages in this process of coming to relate to these entities and asking them to go bit by bit, layer by layer. So you can individually get in touch with them by shifting your focus to this astral plane. And we have shared how to do this, and there are many methods in doing this. It is not very important which method that you choose, other than that you allow yourself to relax and you allow your imagination and your psychic senses to start to work. And in this sense, you can start to relate to any of these parasitic energies and ask them to go. You can ask them where they have come from, what their purpose is, and state in a clear way that they do not have permission to make that energetic connection with you anymore. Call in, of course, your own personal guides, and you can call in us as the Pleiadian Council and the Arcturian Council and the Syrian Council, so on and so forth. There are many high frequency light beings that will support you when you open that call. And imagine us sealing you with light, pouring light into you to sever where any of these beings have a cord into one of your chakras, and allow that energy that we and your higher self are sending to, in a way, coagulate, make a sealant that prevents any such beings from latching onto you. And there will be many of you who have breakthroughs in this sense. There will be many of you who come to see that many of your emotional patterns and things that you have been experiencing do not really relate to you, and the ways that you have attempted to clear them out of your system have been, in a way, self-defeating, because it is not personal. It is simply a pattern that a negative astral being is feeding upon. And you shouldn't need to clear any of these beings more than once or twice, though you may notice that there are many different layers to them. And essentially, why this is becoming more apparent to you now is that, well, they have nothing to hide themselves anymore. The frequency of your planet has shifted so that every frequency must reveal itself in more full transparency. And there is a great and strong presence of beings like ourselves and the angelics that are coming to lift you up and support you. And that energy is making very clear through contrast what old frequencies are still holding on. So you can use this time in a powerful way to clear out those hooks. And most certainly, there are many different astral entities that work with these conspiracy theories that are going on out there. These ideas bring people into those fear-based energies that is, again, food for the astral parasites. And when you are living fully in love and fear is not affecting you anymore, you will know yourself to be free from these beings. And as a light worker, as a light anchor, as one who is supporting this new earth in taking full form, it is really your job to help others lift themselves out of the clutches of fear so that none of these negative forces can continue to exist on your earth plane. Of course, they will always exist in some form.
Great. Thank you so much for that question. Does anyone else have any questions? If you do, you can go ahead and type them in the chat. I'm just going to read a little bit here. Okay, good. Your question was answered. I have a question. Well, this one hits pretty close to home. My husband, Frank, is needing to go down and care for his mother, and in his childhood home. And in this home, yeah, he says he just clarified that maybe he has to go. But we pretty much think that COVID-19 virus, that his sister, his nephew, and possibly his mother have contracted the virus. And we're in this state of just not knowing if they become incapacitated, they won't be able to take care of her. He may, we've consulted other angelic messengers who've told us that his higher self has decided that he is going to go down. So there's just all this unknown. But I guess the big question here is, how does he best protect himself if he's really going to be coming into close proximity with COVID-19 at this time? And what are the greater spiritual lessons and opportunities for increasing his vibration and actually using this as an initiation into higher consciousness for both him and myself, because it's causing us a greater degree of stress and, but also, you know, opportunity, I guess. Kind of a long question, but I'd so appreciate what you have to tell us about this.
Well, in the most physical sense, it is important for him to maintain a great distance from her and from anyone in that area, of course with a mask, staying very hydrated, and making sure to continuously drink water over periods of time, taking the supplement of golden seal and perhaps a bit of extra garlic will help the immune system stay strong. Now, on more subtle levels, it is important to simply sit with any of the fear and the concern that does arise and allow yourself to trust that regardless of what happens, there are greater forces at work. Now, it may or may not be necessary for him to go on this mission, and we would not push it, though stay open and aware. Understand the greater significance of this disease in what it is bringing everyone to get in touch with is a sort of release from a sort of sorrow and grief. It allows people to get in touch with the grief that they are feeling for the planet, for themselves, for the human condition at large, as this is an emotion that is stored in the lungs. And this is something that is coming up through the collective at the time. There is great density being released. And there is great feelings of the suffering of the planet that many are being confronted with. And it has been this way for some time. And in a way, this is a big release from this. And at the same time, while this serves a purpose, this is not something that is entirely natural. So we do advise for a greater distance, taking a greater distance from anyone who may be infected with this is important to remember. And in a way, it brings everyone to release their attachments, understanding that there is a bigger picture playing out.
Thank you so much. That's very, very helpful. Let's see. I think Frank's listening. Frank, do you have anything to add to that, honey? I can make you a I can give you a microphone if you want to. Do you want to ask the Pleiadians a question, sweetheart? Are you still on the call?
I'm here.
You can just tell me.
You know,
Do you want to just tell me? What? Okay, I think that's the main question. I'm still not sure who that person
I'm very
is.
interested in that question about it's not being entirely natural.
Oh yeah,
And
can you say a little more about the virus not being entirely natural? I was listening. Lisa Renee says that there's actually a nanobot in the virus that works with 5G, and that there's kind of some sinister plot to Armageddon future that's connected with the nanobot and the virus. And I try not to entertain that stuff, but my husband's pretty interested in that. So do you have, could you comment on, explain more to us about that, the non-natural component of the virus?
Again, this is a realm that we do not fully have permission to speak about.
Right.
But what we can say about it is that it is, in a way, a virus that has been expanded through your technology. That
Right.
people have worked to make this stronger. And it does relate to this technology of the 5G in the way that it has initially spread. It is not, in a sense, caused by it, but this 5G, in a way, gave it a bigger window. It opened the door for larger spreading of a disease that was altered to serve a specific political agenda. That is all we can say.
Okay, great. I've got another question. So I'm from someone, so I'm going to unmute them. Michael Murphy, let's see if I can find your, okay, so Michael, allowed to talk. Do you have a microphone, Michael? Are you there?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead and ask your question.
Aloha, thank you for being available and receiving this question. So a conversation that I've been having continuously with those in my direct field has been that the meme or concept of virus and viral transmission is very deeply present at this time. And we've been investigating and playing with the thought of flipping this viral transmission meme to using it for like a concept of healing the planet. Some different things have come through about maybe creating a dance, a children's book, or a poem.
Oh,
What I'm
sweet.
specifically seeking would be a direct insight or suggestion which would best bring about a maximally spread meme to shift the consciousness of the planet at this time.
In a way, you are seeking to spread a virus of love as well.
In some words, yes.
Yes. So that is a very good metaphor. Understanding that energy does ripple through people. And when you can, in a way, create a stance, create a state in yourself in which you feel immune to fear, that will be the new virus, the new thing that you can spread through the masses. A stance, a state, an internal attitude of being totally immune to fear. And the way that you express that artistically, creatively is, well, really entirely and uniquely up to you.
Beautiful. I love that, Michael. I would love to work with you on that.
Any other
Thank you.
questions about that?
Yeah, I'm seeking like a specific, maybe a pulse into what the collective is feeling at this time. Is there a specific stream of expression that would be like most available?
What would be most available?
Yeah,
Well,
for the transmission. So words seem to be not as prevalent or not as effective at this time, since there are so many streams of words. I think I got the answer. It's entirely up to me. Thank you.
something that emphasizes the truth that people are always connected. Something that allows people to feel and sense the connection that they have before sought through many social means. How can people expand that sense of connection? How can you personally demonstrate the connection that is always there? Words is all right, though, of course, images and sounds and so on and so forth do expand this experience much more.
So beautiful.
So, again, as long as you are spreading a vibration of love and joy, the rest of it is less relevant. And analysis sometimes prevents that natural energy from flowing. Know that whatever you come to do, you will do it right. And done in a vibration of love, it will be contagious in a very good way.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Great, thanks. Love to
Michael.
you as well.
Thank you so much, Michael. That is so, so beautiful. Yeah, maybe after we do the questions, I'll play a slideshow with some of my galactic music and some decrees. And I'll show you that, Michael. I'll send you that where you can find it, because I'm really, really excited about the possibility of creating vibrational immunity through this joy and catalyzing our higher frequency unity love. So so I would piggyback kind of on that whole question. What is the greatest thing that I can do to, I mean, I know that when I sing in my star language and connect with all the different councils in this new music, if I gather people together on the internet to just hear this music and see the visions of the new earth, is that something that can help create that vibrational immunity?
Yes, most certainly. As long as you are experiencing love and joy throughout the process.
Cool. All right. And someone says goodbye. Molly Kane says, I have to go for now. Love you, Dante and Pleiadians. Aw.
And we love you as well, as does the channel.
Yeah. So yeah, people are asking if you want to see the my galactic music slideshow. It's artwork with John-Luc Bozzoli, who's Joan Ocean's partner. So he's connected with the whales and the dolphins and the dragons and the Akashic frequencies of all these beautiful grids, you know, of tremendous love. And that's on my Facebook page. If you just go to my profile, but you know what I'll do? There's an event on Facebook called Livestream with Pleiadian Council. I will just go ahead and share my video slideshow into that event, but I'll also put it here in the Zoom call when we finish. We'll play through the 12 minutes of the slideshow and the galactic artwork and the galactic music. So you can really have that as a resource. I can also give you a download where you can put that on your phone and listen to the sound, speak the decrees. I think it's very positive. These are Sandra Walter's decrees, and very, very powerful. So I'll make sure that all that's available on the event page. So keep track of the event page, live streaming with the Pleiadians, and I'll put all those links. And again, we'll play that towards the end of this broadcast. Let's see if there's anyone else with a question here. Looking at the Q&A, it looks like we have our questions. I do have another question. I don't know if it's possible for you to answer this question, but
all right.
If Frank were to contract this virus. Do you see the timeline as a good chance that he can shed this and move through this quickly?
Yes.
Okay, that gives us a lot of reassurance. And still, I know we need to maintain the safety and the distancing.
And before he even needs to go first, there may be other options.
Okay, sounds good. Oh, Heather, let me get you your microphone because you've got a question. Okay, Heather has a question. Let me find her. Okay, Heather, there you are. Let's see now. Gotta go all the way across here. Okay, Heather, I'm trying to, oh, Denise is here too. Hi, Denise. I'm just trying to unmute you, Heather. Yeah, you seem to be unmuted. Go ahead and talk to us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I do have a question. Dante and the Pleiadians and the Galactic Councils. I've been called to do, I guess, galactic
Did you hear
work.
that? You'd shed it and move through it if you do get it.
You're coming through.
I'm sorry. I'll
And
unmute.
embodiment of a universal mother energy in the work I'm doing. And I know it has to do with the ancient Pleiadian portal of peace, I believe, that opened on April 4th, and it will continue to April 13th. And I know there is additional work to do at the full moon that has to do with the goddess or the constellation Libra or Venus and the scales of justice and the sword of Excalibur. And I think everything we've kind of talked about today ties into that with what you spoke of for negative astral entity clearing, all of that. Is there anything additional that you can help guide me with?
Yes. Well, this alignment that you are experiencing now does tie very powerfully into this idea of peace. And the portal opening that you have tapped into is a immense way that you can allow this energy to channel into your being. In a way, this balancing act that Libra represents is also represented by having a year symbolic of 2020. So this correlates in your tarot with this idea of judgment. Though judgment is a very commonly misunderstood concept in your world, and judgment itself, when you do not condemn that which you judge, is a positive energy. So this is really the birthing of the ability to judge, to discern, to see clearly every vibrational energy for what it is. Every idea, every individual. When you can allow yourself to have that full, clear understanding of their energy simply by how you feel, how your intuition communicates with you in your body, you will be able to take this judgment and use it in a healthier way, to take this sort of balancing act and allow the results to show you which energy is a lighter frequency. Now, much like the scales that are in this Egyptian myth of the descent into the underworld, those whose heart is lighter than a feather can enter. And in a way, you are all going through that collective initiation right now. You are working to release the conditions, the limitations, the judgments in the negative sense, the ways that you condemn or separate yourself from others, to make your heart so light that you can pass through this gateway. And that is what is really occurring now. And you may also want to tap into additional support at this time from beings from Venus itself. As your moon is in this sign, connected to Venus, the Hathorian vibration is very strong, and these beings do work to support your planet's ascension very powerfully by offering this tone, this energy. Now, the Hathors, of course, like to be channeled with sound. They like when you play with your voice, when you play with your creative expression. So you may want to experiment with toning on this night of the full moon to allow for your own opening of that channel to come through, and allow yourself to give more permission to seeing everything clearly. Give yourself more permission to open your truth and know that this gift of love will ripple out. And when you can have a clear sight and clear perspective and share it with others, many more people will awaken to this kind of discernment that helps them choose their path and choose their actions and choose to find that balance. Though, of course, taking into account as well that this Libra energy is square to what is expressing through your planet of Capricorn right now, or the sign of Capricorn with many planets there. Here is a challenge that can help you find, again, balance between this energy of the forward movement, the new creations, and this more inner fine-tuned balance that is coming to all of you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that question. Philip has another question, so I'm going to go ahead and unmute him.
Yeah, I did it.
Are you unmuted, Philip? Okay,
Yes.
great.
So I like that concept, immunity to fear. I just wanted to give you my view and then to have Dante's view. What I found is over the last year, because I believe I went through like a dark night of the soul and had to face my fears. Mostly, I became immune to fears when I realized that what I feared is what I disowned in myself. And when I learned to accept that part back in myself and love it again, the fear disappeared. So I'd like, I'd love a view on that from Dante and or the Pleiadian Council.
Yes. Yes, and that is why we encourage you to ask, again, this question whenever you are feeling fear or any negative emotion. What am I believing about myself that would cause me to feel this way? Because the biggest fears that all of you project outside have more to do with what you have learned to avoid, what you have learned to not be or embody within yourself. And in a way, in order to become the highest degree of light, you have to bring to the surface those parts of yourself that may be hiding in darkness, that may still be afraid, or that may still be, in a way, clinging to those old belief systems. So this sort of a dark night is that experience of a confrontation with many of the beliefs that have kept you disconnected. And in connecting with them, you awaken to a much bigger spiritual connection with the whole. And in a way, those of you who have gone through many of these dark night experiences before are much safer in this time. In a sense, you have been put through the ringer ahead of time to be more aligned and hold a high frequency for the changes to come. As now, many people will go through this collective dark night that will challenge them to see themselves in a clear light.
Yeah, thank you. I do believe that it has been easier to face things like lockdown, given that you faced your fears. It just, like you say, you could make it an inner retreat instead of becoming a very frustrating experience.
Yes.
Thank you.
Great, thank you so much. I am putting a few links right here in the chat, and the cool thing is you guys can save the chat. I'm trying to make that tinyurl.com/beneficence prayer. I mean, you guys can save the chat. Information that was chatted there, it'll be there for you. But let's see if we have any more questions. Michael. Oh, yeah. Let me unmute you. Can you unmute yourself, Michael? I can also try to unmute you. Let's do that.
I am unmuted, yes.
Wonderful. Okay, go ahead.
Aloha again. So I
Okay.
heard a comment and some explanation on the emotion of sadness, as it is it was phrased and presented as a negative emotion. In my own experience, I see emotion or sadness as very valuable in processing loss or moving through, like it's very tied to nature and the cycles of nature. And I see it as an expression of love. Could you share more on your view of sadness? And also about, I heard that it feeds into negative emotions. I'd just like some more clarification there.
Yes, it is in a way part of a cycle, as you notice, that every emotion at its core has a positive intention. And this sadness brings you into a greater degree of self-love when you allow it. Anger can bring you into a greater sense of self-empowerment when you allow it. And even fear can bring you into a greater sense of self-protection when you allow it and embrace it. Though these emotions become negative when you attach to them. In a way, when you commit to a belief that continues to generate sadness. So this is playing out in your world through the many conflicting energy fields and groups and so on, encouraging people to believe certain ideas that rob them of hope. And in that state of hopelessness, a sadness that does not come back around in the loop into a positive state of acceptance, those people become very easy to influence. And this is why, in a way, we say to transmute all of these emotions, understand that they are this negative side of the cycle, and that they will, when you embrace them, rise into a positive energy. Though for
This
many
is the
of
first
you,
time I feel, oops, let me unmute.
for many of you, they keep you lodged in a lower state because they are being, in a way, bombarded around you. You're being bombarded by influences that evoke this emotion again and again. So we are saying embrace what is negative. For negative, positive, they are both expressions of love, and it is in seeing the whole cycle that you find that true balance. And be cautious of any sources of information that keep people in the same loops of the same emotion over and over again. Encourage others to embrace what they are feeling and see things again from a higher perspective.
Thank you.
Does that help you? Does that clarify this?
Yes, it does. Seeing it as a cycle, and rather than something that needs to be negated, felt it feels better to receive it that way. Thank you.
Yes, our great thanks and love to you.
Great, thanks so much. Denise, do you have a question? Do you know how to unmute yourself, my dear? I can unmute you. Let's see. Where is she? There she is. Allowed to, okay. All right, I think you're
Unmute myself. Oh,
you're
good.
yeah, there you are. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you.
Nice to hear
Hello.
you.
Thank you. Nice
Hello.
to hear you. Hello, Pleiadian Council. My father had open heart surgery on March 17th, and he lived about 2 weeks, and he passed away. And I'm here by myself in his house that I'm inheriting, and I have a lot of feelings, and I'm just trying to make sense of this because now both of my parents have died. My mother a year ago, and I'm just wanting to understand this more and what this means for my life. I really wanted my dad to live longer and to enjoy more time with him. I mean, it's wonderful that I'm inheriting now, but this is it's really sad because I would rather have my dad here with me. I just not quite sure what to do with myself right now. It's been a week and I'm still kind of in shock, and I'm not sure what to do with myself here and how to move through this. I'm staying mostly peaceful, but sometimes it's punctuated by strong emotions and frustration that it didn't go the way I wanted it to go. And I don't know what this means for my life. Like, if this is actually propelling me forward faster with meeting my beloved and my soul family and moving forward in my life, or what this change means for me in my life. And if you could explain more just about what the benefit was of this passing and why this happened at this time, and I guess what it means for me in many ways, but also during this time of the coronavirus, and how to keep myself healthy during this time, because I'm not doing so great. I guess I'm doing okay. And I just want to stay healthy, and I'm trying to stay isolated and physically, but I still have to go out places, and I'm trying to protect myself, and I'm not sure if I'm doing a good enough job, and I'm not sure how strong my immune system is right now either. So I'm in a strange place. I'm isolated in a rural area too. So yes, I would love your insight and guidance. Thank you.
All right. Well, first we do say that the emotions you are feeling are all a natural part of this process of grief. And it is a process that has been well documented in your world that goes through many cycles. And so the most important thing for you to focus upon now is self-love. And that expresses through honoring your emotions and allowing yourself to feel what you are feeling, yet still doing what you know to be most loving to keep yourself in an aligned state. And reaching out to others and staying connected at this time will help your heart to heal and mend and find gratitude. And while there are, in a way, good reasons that this is occurring as when and how it is occurring, and on one level, of course, it is acausal. It is simply the timing. And what we are about to say is not a bigger reason why, but it is something that you can use to derive a greater positive meaning from this. And well, what we do say is that the changes on the planet are quite great, and it may have been very taxing for your father to endure all of the changes that are stirring in the collective. And so for him to leave before all of that happens is, in a way, a very peaceful surrender. And at the same time, the things that you inherit will strengthen you in this time so that you can be more stable in a time when everything is getting topsy-turvy and turned around on your planet. Now, in terms of your health, we would not worry too much. Do not allow fear to grasp you. You have a strong enough body to handle this virus or whatever you encounter at this time, and none of that should be a concern. However, there is much healing work to do to be able to hold your body in a proper alignment and to be able to channel the energies that you are intending to work with in this time. So we would suggest for you a daily practice of Qigong or Tai Chi to keep yourself more stable, to keep the energy flow moving in your body, and make sure that you are also taking walks, moving your body, that you are not spending too much time sitting or lying down, so that the energies can continue to flow. You may find that the process you are in moves quicker when you keep yourself moving, so don't allow yourself to totally collapse. Allow yourself instead to be inspired by nature and be inspired by that which you can still do.
Okay.
Is there more? I'm sorry, I wasn't sure if you were
Do you have
still talking.
any more specific questions or ways we can help you with this?
Yes. If the virus comes to me, you're saying that I can, my body can handle it, but it's also important that I stay healthy in dealing with the energies at this time. Is that what you just said?
Well, yes, you are dealing with the collective energies as everyone else, though what we are speaking to is the way your body holds energy itself. That there are still some kinks in your system that you will heal best by movement. It sounds loud as if somebody is typing. Stop typing. So, yes, it is keeping yourself in alignment, allowing yourself to move your body in ways that feel good, allowing yourself to take walks, allowing yourself to stretch and gently move. Again, we have suggested Qigong and Tai Chi. It is important to remember to not give up on doing body work and seeking therapies when your body feels good, because again, that is only going to keep you in the cycle of re-experiencing injuries. In the times that you do feel free, those are the times that are actually most important for you to focus on continuing to heal your physical body.
I'm not sure I understand. I think you're telling me to go get body work. I need body work now, and you're saying to get it body work now?
Get body work, do Tai Chi, Qigong, a bit of yoga, stretch and move, take walks, focus on things that keep you feeling well in the body. Do not spend too much time sitting or standing, or laying down rather. Standing is good when it is not stressful for you, but keep the energy moving and keep working on your body. Yes.
Are there other things for me to do at this time? I'm in the house by myself a lot.
Are you still singing?
Sometimes.
That would be good. Because again, sound is one of the ways that you will work to channel energy, to anchor these higher frequency energies into your earth at this time.
Oh, good. Can you tell me more about, so what I understand about my dad's passing is that these changes on the earth would have been taxing for him at this time.
Yes.
And it's better for me to feel stabilized by the inheritance, you're saying?
Yes.
I kind of wish he didn't have open heart surgery at this time, but it might have been taxing anyways.
Yes. Well, there are many souls that are choosing to leave at this time because to go through so much transformation in one lifetime is too much of a challenge for them. And when souls return to source, it is like a complete renewal. They immediately return to spirit and love and light. And in a way, it is an easier process.
Yes.
Of course, souls wish to stick around when
Denise,
they know
we
they're
have
serving
like
a purpose for
4
others.
more questions. So can we
Okay.
can we
Can
make,
I just hear the rest of his sentence? That's
yeah,
all.
absolutely. Go ahead.
Yes. Well, all we would wish to impart as a final message is that your Father has a great and powerful love for you. And as you move through these layers of this process of grieving, you will find a greater purpose for all that is happening. And you will find gratitude for the love that you continue to feel through his presence. So it is all right to invite him and to feel him in all that you are coming to receive now. For after this next cycle, you will be in a much better place to be able to share your gifts and to make the soul connections you have been longing for. So simply trust in this process.
Thank you so much, Pleiadian
Okay,
Council.
thanks to you.
Love you, Denise. Really
Love you,
holding
Sarah.
you, and I'm here for you, Frank and I, you know, to just be with you on the phone or on Zoom. So just reach out, okay?
Thank you.
All right. So Deja has a question. So I'm gonna, okay, Deja, go ahead and ask your question. Did I unmute you? Deja, are you still there? I don't know if she's there. Brendan has a question. Let me
All
give
right.
her. Deja, I see you here, but are you, do you want to ask your question? I'll go ahead. There she is. Okay, go ahead.
All right.
Yeah, hi. Well,
We cannot hear you.
can you hear me?
Now we can.
Yes? Okay, so I have a question. So very in alignment with my high potential in the life. I'm feeling super aware in my body. I'm really following my dreams, and yeah, but there's one thing. It's about energy work, meditation, and sound healing and Reiki practice. How can I motivate myself more to go deeper inside meditation? Because sometimes when I'm starting to try it, it feels after a while I don't feel motivated to do longer practices. It's more like a job sometimes than excitement. And how can I find excitement and joy behind meditation continuing practice?
We did not get all of that. Sarah, did you understand that?
Deja, can you write out your question in the chat, and then I will go ahead and ask it to the Pleiadians?
Yes, I can do that.
Okay.
We are sorry, that did not come through so clearly.
What I did hear is that she's wondering about how to commit herself to a longer practice of, I think you said yoga or something about lengthening, being able to commit to practicing for a longer time. But we'll see what she writes out in the chat.
All right. Well, we can speak to that initially in that it should come from a place of passion and joy. When you engage in any of these practices, ultimately, it is that feeling of a love for yourself that will keep you moving through it. So you may want to push yourself for just a little bit longer than you feel that natural motivation to do it. If you feel that you find joy and passion in doing yoga for 45 minutes, then try doing it for an hour. If you can only do 20 minutes of yoga, try half an hour. Though when you are forcing yourself to do something that you aren't feeling a natural calling to do for too long, you will, in a way, short circuit your system. So really, in order to get in touch with higher frequency energies, you shouldn't need to meditate for much longer than 20 or 30 minutes. That should be sufficient in allowing you to tap into that channel. And of course, there's a point to longer retreats and programs of this nature, though the goal is to be continuously in a flow of passion and joy. And in that sense, everything that you do is a meditation on diving deeper into that flow of love. And when you are doing that and living that way, none of the practices that you do will really deplete you of that joy. They will add to it. And of course, challenge you and help you see blockages that are there. And with time, that will become exciting as well.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you so much. Do you have maybe 1 or 2 tips for me when I'm feeling this, how I can go more into the flow of meditation and counting, like when I want to do it, what can help me to become more this daily practice of doing it?
We still do not understand you. We are sorry.
So Dante, Pleiadians, she is saying, do you have any specific tips for how she can motivate herself to come into this flow of daily practice?
Yes. Well, when you wake up, ask yourself, what do you feel the most joy in doing? And allow the joy to inspire you. Throughout your day, ask yourself, out of everything I could do, what brings alive the greatest love and joy in me? And allow that to be your practice. Rather than forcing yourself to do something that feels unnatural, come back to your heart again and again and ask yourself, where is my joy? Out of everything I could do with my energy, where does the joy arise?
Thank you
And
so much.
if you continue to choose that, your life will be a flow of that energy, and you can bring that energy into new and greater activities. To jump into a meditation or a yoga practice or anything in a state of joy is much easier than bringing yourself from a low vibration state into a blissful meditation. So sometimes it is really about the timing. When you flow through your joy up into a certain point, you can then choose to do something that is even of a higher vibration or more precise to go deeper.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Deja, for your question. And so Brendan has a question. He doesn't have a mic, so I'm going to read it. Let me find it. So I believe it has to do with channeling the energy of Yeshua. Let's see. I'm in my chat. The chat. Okay, Brendan, I'm going to find that question. Here we go. I have a question. I have been told that I am here to channel Jesus energy. Can you share anything about this or something to help to receive this?
Yes. Well, this energy is really Christ consciousness or even crystal consciousness. And it is a natural energy that people were simply not fully aware of until that coming of Christ, yet still many are not fully aware of. And really, this is an energy of unconditional love, an energy of unconditional love that expresses itself as surrender. This is an energy that understands that there is no true division between self and other, and that this is simply an illusion experienced through your third and fourth dimensional realities. And by through truly living through that illusion, you understand that when something is better for the collective, it is also better for you. When something is better for others, it is also better for you. And in this sense, it is a way that you give yourself over to the collective. And in doing so, you receive this immense high vibrational energy that expresses itself as love, unconditional love, yes, as bliss, as ecstasy, though there's, of course, similarly that feeling of a loss that initially may come with it, because you are in a way giving over your ego to the greater good of all. And the initial experiences of surrendering to Christ consciousness may feel as if you are giving something up, as that ego disappears, though what you will receive in return is this greater sense that there is no separation between you and others, that you are able to drop into greater love with others, that you are able to express love to others instantaneously, and others see that reflection of unconditional love in you.
Great. Did that answer your question, Brendan? You can chat us a message if there's more.
If you have anything more you would like to ask, please type it in.
Okay, let me just check the chat here. It looks like that must have answered the question.
All right.
I'm looking for Ruth. I know Ruth, you had raised your hand. Are you still here with us? Let me go ahead and you're welcome to unmute yourself if you see. I don't see her hand anymore. Oh, there she is, right there. Okay. Oh, where is she? I lost her. Okay, there she is. Okay. All right, Ruth, I'm going to promote you to panelist so you can ask a question. Ruth, are you there? Go ahead and ask your question.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
very clearly.
Oh, great. Thank you. Thank you, Pleiadian Council, for this time. I am understanding. I am going through a deep rebirth. Whatever insights you can bring me about the work that I am birthing and how to bring that in a good way, I will be most grateful.
How to rebirth yourself?
Yes, and what insights into the work that I am being gifted with bringing in now, whatever insights about that work and how I can facilitate bringing it in quickly.
Well, what is this work? What is your passion calling you to bring forward?
Yes. In the rebirth, any insight you have about new work coming?
Well, it must come from what you are naturally passionate about. What already evokes the sense of love and connection in you?
Ah, yes. So children have been my work all my life. Will there be more work with children coming?
Yes.
Yes. Any insights about that work that I should be gathering for myself to bring it forward now?
Well, first, a little bit about this idea of rebirth. It will express through the beliefs that you have about it. So rebirth can be laborious, like an intense birth process on your planet, or rebirth can be effortless, like you simply shift into a new reality. And this effortless rebirth happens when you understand that you are constantly shifting through parallel realities, that in this nanosecond you are not the same person you were a second ago. When you realize that every single belief that you have about yourself is in a way a filter that determines your personality. You can reprogram your personality very easily by plucking out the beliefs that don't feel like they resonate anymore. And so you can confront those beliefs in ways that challenge you, or you can simply discard them when you see them as optional and irrelevant. Now, in the sense, your rebirth can happen very quickly. You can find yourself a complete new person. And tapping now back into this idea of working with children, well, the way that you have worked with children in the past may have been more influenced by the expectations that people had in children and conforming to a society. And now children are being maturing. They are maturing into a new world. And this world has different expectations. So instead of forming and shaping children, you can now connect with them more in a way that allows them to be their most natural self, that allows them to shed those expectations and simply express their natural joy and what they really want to connect with and play with. And in the same sense, you can come to free yourself in this rebirthing process from any obligations or any ways that you've attempted to fit other people's expectations, and simply be who you are and simply do what you love to do, and shed away any of those experiences that don't feel like love to you anymore.
Ah, thank you.
Yes.
You have answered so many questions. Thank you.
Yes.
And Ruth, I would just say that's one of my main passions, is helping children find that joy and that authentic expression. And same with Denise. So we should all have a powwow about children's joy and love and creativity. And
Yes.
yeah.
The magic of it all for me is that it has in fact been my prayer for myself, that spirit helped me return to the joy of childhood. So of
Yeah.
course it makes sense that as I take that journey myself, I can then enrapture children in their own joy through my own joy.
So beautiful. Absolutely.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. As you create the space for their joy, you will find the joy deepening within yourself. And likewise, when you allow yourself to expand in your joy, you will be able to create a better container for it. And any parts of your inner child that are still sort of trapped by the old expectations and the old experiences that you have had may come to the surface, and you can do inner meditations to liberate your inner child and create a new story for them. So allow it to be a playful game for you in this sense. And this childlike joy will truly birth innovation in adults as well as children in the new times.
Ah, thank you. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Ruth, for that wonderful question. Brendan had one more question, just
All right.
about, was there anything special that you recommend that he can do to start bringing forth this Christ consciousness energy to channel?
Yes. Well, again, following and living your passion, asking yourself, out of everything I could do with my energy, what ignites that greatest force of love? And continuously asking that question to keep yourself on the track and follow the thread of that again and again. You will live in love. And naturally, as you do that, you will encounter other people that reflect to you energies that seem less than love. And then it is your job to be able to see what you experience as negative in them as a gift to you, to see aspects of that within yourself as well, and to drop the separation entirely. You may encounter parts of yourself that you deem as less than love in the process as well. And it will be as well your job to embrace them, to hold them and see them as valuable. And really bringing this energy in is the way in which you dissolve the separation, working with yourself and working with others, so that any feelings they have or any beliefs they have that there are separate groups of people, that some are better than others, there are the good guys here and the bad guys there. No, dropping all of those notions and seeing the love at the essence of every soul is the pathway to allowing that unconditional love to be birthed. Because again, when we speak about these dark forces, we say, again, there are many, and they will be defeated, but they will be not defeated by the same manipulative tactics they are using. They will be defeated by the collective embracing all outer negativity as an expression of love in distortion. And by embracing it purely and holding it for what it is, that energy will transmute, because all of these darker energies are attempting to avoid that love. And when you can stand in love and share it with them, there will be a massive transformation that takes place.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Dante and the Pleiadians. It looks like Denise has another question. Let me just go ahead and unmute you, Denise. Here we go. Okay, go ahead, Denise. Denise, are you still there?
Hello?
Okay, now you should be there. Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, I guess I left my hand raised up. So when I was going to ask a question, so I didn't necessarily have another question. I mean, I have lots of questions about my dad, but I didn't at this moment.
Okay, so we'll,
think of one.
all right, we'll go on to Anne because I don't think she's asked yet. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
Sure. Let's see. Hi, Anne. Are you unmuted?
Hi, I am now.
Hello. Great. Go ahead and ask a question.
Okay, let me read it because I already wrote it out. I'm a channel and a healer, but I don't do it for my job. It's a vocation, but I'm moving into that. And I'm feeling inspired to incorporate, and my channeling is beautiful writing. Probably I've written over 300 prayers and just beautiful inspirations, and I want to incorporate this into a vocation and service. So how can I best do this?
How can you best share it with others?
Yes.
Well, are there many who already receive what you are doing?
Well, I started an Instagram account and a Facebook. I don't know how many that reaches, but it just started in September, so it's a new thing.
Yes. We would suggest that you
Looks like your signal is a little bit, there it is.
Can you hear us?
For a minute it was
going in and out, yeah, for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know if your signal is slipping or something. I don't know.
Here, let me hold on. Let me make sure maybe off of Wi-Fi. Okay, now see.
All right.
Okay, there we go.
So we do suggest that you continue to use those mediums and connect with other people in groups, post what you channel in different groups, and it will grow organically with time. Realize that making connections with others is the clearest way it grows. So once you build some bridges, more bridges will open. Follow and connect with those that naturally draw you in, and simply continue to focus on cultivating your own intuitive connection. There will be many threads of guidance that allow you to keep reaching more people. And in co-creation with them, what you do will expand and reach even higher levels.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes. And of course, there's much to learn. So don't hesitate to reach out when you feel challenged or frustrated with these new platforms. For there are certainly people who will help you and many tips that come along the way. So do some research and find the best ways to reach people. Though we would suggest, of course, working with those groups initially and following your own intuitive thread of guidance, as it will connect you with key individuals who will help this thread become a much bigger web And at times when this process feels slow, it is good in those moments to go deeper within yourself. And when the process feels like it is rippling very quickly, enjoy the journey and enjoy the ride, for there is something grand happening in those moments. Though, again, it is something that happens in cycles, so allow for both phases in the cycle to be powerful and useful ways of growing.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Yes, our great thanks to you as well.
Thank you, Anne. Okay, just putting out a last call here. We'll probably be closing up with music and slideshow pretty soon. Does anybody have a question? You can type it in the chat or you can put it in the Q&A, either place. Okay, let's see.
Could I ask one more quick question?
Sure, go ahead, Philip.
So a lot of people have been also channeling through Arcturians, and I'd just like to know what is the relationship between Pleiadian and Arcturian, and do they operate on different dimensional frequencies?
Yes. Well, the Arcturian civilization has been a great inspiration for us in our evolution, as they have been an inspiration for so many of the other members of this galactic federation. They are, in a way, an expression of the angelic realm into form through one solar system's expression. And this star Arcturus reaches the other stars with an immense force. Arcturians are a bit different in the sense that they do not innately possess physical bodies, though they can create the expression of them in order to have interactions. They come from a purely enlightened plane of consciousness, so in a way, they have not gone through phases of evolution. They simply lower their vibration to match that of others and help them grow. So in that sense, their world is very different than many. And again, they have been inspiration for us. And we, in a way, come through with more clear messages in this setting, in this sense, because we have evolved much like you are evolving.
So were the early Lemurian civilizations mainly Pleiadian, or did they have Arcturian influence?
Atlantis and Lemuria both had a great degree of visitation from Sirius, from Pleiades, and from Arcturus, and some other systems we cannot mention at this moment.
Interesting. Thanks.
Beautiful. Well, yeah, I'd like to close this time with a slideshow and music and affirmations. Before we do that, does the Pleiadian Council have any closing remarks that they'd like to present?
Well, we thank each and every one of you for co-creating this experience today, as it has been a delightful way for all of us to expand. And we simply affirm to you that you are the love that you may seek. And when you can tap into that sense of love within you and allow it to guide you, miraculous things will happen in these times. There are many old belief systems that will come to the surface for each of you as individuals. So it is important to remember to stay attuned to that flow of love and know that any of these negative ideas that you are experiencing are not the full truth. And when you can come to see past the illusions, you will discover immense inner power. These are times of great and incredible change. And today on this full moon, we invite you to discover what it means to have balance within. We invite you to discover what it means to see past this sense of separate self, to see that the energy that you are is the same energy that everyone is made of. And when you can notice how the shift in your personal vibration ripples to affect everyone around you, you can go beyond living as an individual and come to live as part of the collective as we do. And over a great period of time, this is the shift that is really occurring for all of you. You are shedding and releasing your expression of individuality to come to live as part of the greater good, as part of the whole, and know that all that you do is in dedication to that greater evolution. And it is no sacrifice in the sense that you lose anything. All that you lose is the pain of an egoic perspective. And you gain all of the love in the universe every time. And so this is the time now in your age of Aquarius you are birthing, in which the Christ consciousness that was once demonstrated by the Yeshua is now awakening in all of you. And you will all come to experience yourself as collective beings. And with that, great love is birthed. So we thank you for allowing us to support you in the process and supporting us in our evolution as well. And we wish you a very pleasant day or evening, whatever it is for you at this time.
Thank you so much, Pleiadian Council. And so as we share this positive visions and positive music and beautiful sounds, let's gather together on this full moon as a family of light, sending these beautiful, beautiful frequencies into the planet, into this great web of love that we are, bringing forth our highest timelines. I'm going to start this music and slideshow for you. We are one family. We are love. We are beauty. We are the answer to all we seek. Take a breath. Feel the sacred gateway of the heart. Unify all levels and layers of self in this now moment. Say out loud, Infinite Creator, Pure Source Consciousness, witness this, feel this, divine DNA within me. Unlock the cosmic stargate activity which unifies me with the divine cosmic light of the pure organic ascension stargates. Amplify this activity in divine unity with my heart center and higher levels. Align, align, align. I call forth the transmutation of all duality into divine trinitized perfection. I send pure love to the higher realms, merge with them, and call forth the cosmic Christ ascended white flames, the diamond shining light into all sacred gateways and new earth crystalline grid systems now. Divinitize and activate the divine freedom codes for peace, harmony, unity, divinity, unconditional love, and the pure and true organic ascension to the maximum amount allowed by cosmic law in this now. I call forth the highest levels of love, light, divine harmonics, and ascension activations to pour through the Christed stargates, flow through the stargates within me, amplifying my divine DNA as an interface for the great raising activity and the revelation of the pure and true organic ascension. I offer myself as a conduit for this divine activity in this now. Beloved stargates of ascension within and without, I send you my heartfelt gratitude. love and divine service, and open myself as pure conduit of source consciousness through these realms, shining as a beacon of light, amplifying the frequencies of pure divine love through every thought, word, deed, action, as my divine presence in this now. Infinite Creator, Divine Mother, Heavenly Father, Paradise Sons of God, Great Central Sons, purity and power, seal me in the cosmic armor of divine diamond light. Surround my ascension column and beingness in this pillar of sacred fire love. I walk in these realms, protected, empowered, and surrounded by the illuminating cloak of sacred protection. I am an immortal divine being of the light, and I ordain all of my realities to reflect this. Diamond shining rays of Christed mastery blaze into every timeline, parallel reality, and realms of Gaia seen and unseen. Remove any remaining discord, limitation, disharmony, or distortion which has ever registered in these realms of my beingness. Surround and seal beloved Gaia and all of her life in the cosmic Christ, blue lightning, and the diamond rays of protection. Reveal the new earth and ascended realms to all willing hearts. With ease and grace, I ordain this under all graces, forces, and pure source of consciousness. Infinite Creator, Divine Mother, Heavenly Father, Paradise Sons of God, Great Central Sons, purity and power, seal me in the cosmic armor of divine diamond light. Surround my ascension column and beingness in this pillar of sacred fire love. I walk in these realms protected, empowered, and surrounded by the illuminating cloak of sacred protection. I am an immortal divine being of the light, and I ordain all of my realities to reflect this. Diamond shining rays of Christed mastery blaze into every timeline, parallel reality, and realms of Gaia seen and unseen. Remove any remaining discord, limitation, disharmony, or distortion which has ever registered in these realms of beingness. Surround and seal beloved Gaia and all of her life in the cosmic Christ blue lightning and the diamond rays of protection. Reveal the new earth and ascended realms to all willing hearts with ease and grace. I ordain this under all graces, forces, and pure source of consciousness. So be it. And so it is.
still going?
It's still going. Did I lose you guys? We're coming to the end here. So we're coming to the end of this. I'll keep sharing my screen. One earth. One love. One life. So I'm hearing some noise. I'm going to go ahead and stop my share.
Are we back?
All right, I'm coming back here.
Does everyone want to say hi before we go away?
Yeah, let's
All unmute. Oh God, I can't put my video back on, but I'm
okay,
here.
so I'll get you back on, darling. Oh my gosh. I don't know why I'm hearing all this weird sound.
It could just be Guatemala. I'm sorry if it is.
I don't know. It seems to be on my end that I'm all distorted. Can you hear me now? Is that better?
I can hear you. I can't hear my video
Okay.
on.
I don't know. Okay, yeah, just want to say hi to everybody.
Technology.
I know. Let me try to get you on. I'm going to make you host. Okay, you're going to be host now, Dante. So,
oh, here I am.
There you are.
Yeah.
Yay.
Hello, everybody.
My sound is doing something really weird. I'm going to see if I can fix it.
Yeah, feel free to unmute yourself if you have anything you want to share at the end, or I can unmute you. Maybe I don't know how I do this.
Yeah. My computer's doing really weird stuff with sound. I don't know what's going on. I'm going to mute myself, I think.
Oh, my sound is echoing through. Gosh.
I don't know if it's my sound that's doing weird stuff.
Anyway.
All right, guys.
To a close, but if we can, yeah, if you have any, yeah, thank you so much, Michael. If you know how to make the sound thing better for us, or somebody does, that's really appreciated. And my intention is to do this like every week if possible, perhaps a little bit earlier, as the people in Europe thought we were doing this too late for them, which I totally relate to. It's probably like 9, 11 or 12 over there now, but anyway. I've really enjoyed it, and I'm really glad to take the Pleiadian channeling and this energy to new levels during these times where everything's shifting. So I don't know what else to say unless you guys want to share something. Otherwise, we'll say bye.
Just thanks for, I don't know why my sound's doing this, but thank you so much, Dante. That was beautiful. It's great to have a lot of people interacting. All right. Bye-bye, everybody. Thanks so much for coming. And thank you again, Dante.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody. Ciao.
Adios.